What's up everyone, welcome back one more time. You know the deal, we play historic role and don't change the channel. We are playing Ursa one more time after a couple of days where we played Ursa the first time. This time Brent told me, hey, I have built this deck, it's a super friends list of Ursa, I really want you to play it, it's a cool deck. And I told him, I've just played with your other Ursa build, but he told me, but this is different, this is super friends, you're going to have fun. And you know what? I trust him. I trust his judgment. I am going to play with a... You got me on Azorius. You tell me Azorius and you grab my attention. Then you tell me it's a super friends list and... Alright buddy, alright buddy. I'm gonna have to play it. And you know, I always play with subscribers list. If you're a subscriber and you want me to play... Oh, opponent, why do you play so many different basics type? My head is hurting from your beautiful but so many different island types. Alright, we are playing Planeswalkers, proliferating Planeswalkers. These are the most obnoxious Planeswalkers you can play. These are the Teferis, the Tesserets. But we are cruel people from time to time. And I don't care. I really don't care. So, opponent playing on Gadwick. They are on mono blue. Oh, key to the archive already, huh? Maybe I should have waited with the disdainful stroke up. But that's okay, we will overcome this however we can. Play the Fable Passage. We have a ley line of anticipation, so we can play things on their turn. Looking at the midnight clock, I think I'm supposed to play the clock right now to tick it faster. Because if I play it on their turn, which I can't do, then I'm missing on one single counter on the clock. And this type of mono blue or control matchups, mirror matches, are most often than not decided by a well-timed midnight clock. We can disdainful stroke their Gadwick, which is really good, and see where we go from here. Clock ticks once again. We draw a Maze Mind Tome. Play a Bastion, and even though we could play on their turn, I think we should play Teferi here to start taking him up, or maybe put a creature on the battlefield. I really like the creatures that this Teferi leaves, because these are creatures that are good on their own. They're going to grow anytime that we draw a card, so even if they somehow can destroy Teferi, the creature that Teferi leaves is decent. It's not the best, but it's decent. It's a Vigilance. Yeah, they bounce Teferi. Alright, bouncing Teferi is not terrible for us. Bearing, Mox Amber, and the Witching Well. Really feel like we are playing like some sort of CEDH game. Like, wow, so many powerful things going on right now. And this is not tier 1, this is not the Hell Q, but it looks like we are being matched up against really powerful control decks. Okay, so, as you know, we have like this illusion, Teferi illusion, which is really nice. I really like this Teferi, even leaving behind one of these creatures, super powerful, because we are going to draw so many cards, so we can make that creature into a very big threat. I'm going to pass right now. I'm not looking at playing Teferi right now. Either Spellbomb, alright, so they can bounce our creature. They attack us with a shark. Okay. And now we go to our end step. Looks like they can counter some things, so let's try to play our lesser spells. Celestus. We could go Solemn. Try to grow our mana base. Most of these games are oftenly decided by who gets more mana and can do more things on their turn. So we are winning in that sense. Midnight clock ticks, it's halfway there. We grow the creature, play another land. Well, so small things that decide this type of games. We can play on their turn, they can not play on our turn. Most of their spells. We have more mana, we have a midnight clock, we have more pressure on the battlefield. So things look pretty tight, but I think we have the lead on this game. Opponents sacks the Witching Well to draw 2 cards. It's actually really good for them. And I think I'm going to take this window to slam a Ursa. Ah, there was a wash away. Alright, so I think maybe here is where we also resolve a Teferi. I don't know if this is very good, because it's not like we can activate Teferi right now. But resolving Teferi versus them when we still have ways to protect him, I think it's a decent play. Because they could have a handful of counter spells right now. And we have an active Teferi. Alright, opponent deals with our token. Now can attack Teferi. Yeah, that was to be expected, but they don't kill Teferi, so we can still use him. There's a Tesseract, another Planeswalker. This is Super Friends, as you can see very clearly by the amount of Planeswalkers that we can play. Let's try to play Tesseract. I have to main phase him because I need to activate. Right, opponent Disdainful Stroke. So many Disdainful Strokes going around. We will also try to see if we can find something. Maybe we could find a Pact of Negation, something to deal with the Disdainful Stroke. No. Alright, let's put some loyalty on Teferi. Tesseract gets counter, but we have 3 fresh cards and we could put another illusion on the battlefield. As I mentioned before, these are good enough creatures that you want to maybe do 1 or 2 of these. For a control deck where we don't have access to so many creatures, it's so essential to have some pressure on the battlefield to put our opponent into a situation where we are winning the game on multiple ways. Boral's Expertise, that's very cool. They're going to bounce the Teferi one more time, and they bounced the Midnight Clock to our hand, so that thing is out of the table right now. The question is, where do we go from here? And should we do something on our turn, or should we wait for their turn? We could go to Teferi. The thing about playing on their turn with so many Planeswalkers is that you actually want to activate them on your turn. So that's something. So let's go to Teferi one more time. And there was a counter. Alright. It's too awkward that we don't have a counter ourselves. But it is what it is. We could go second Teferi to start looting. Maybe that's a good plan. We could activate him in every turn, trying to take him to 10 and maybe have some extra turn spells or extra turns. Alright, let's loot with Teferi. Ooh, there's a Sublime Epiphany. I have to get rid of something. I do want most of these spells. Midnight Clock, it's can be so decisive in this type of games, but I think for now I should get rid of the Tome. Because I'm going to find things with my other spells. Midnight Clock, if I slam Midnight Clock and maybe have a window to tick it up 2 turns in a row, then that's so much card advantage. Opponent resolves a Gadwick. That's problematic because they drew 3 more cards. Right. Attack Teferi, take him down to 1. I can loot with Teferi. Find a Seagate Restoration that I don't actually want. I'd rather have every other card in our hand. Alright, another land. Lands are good. Lands are good here. I think we have access to at least 2 things. Ooh, Commit is also very good. So Commit is as good as a Midnight Clock. But it's also a way to deal with their threat. So I'm going to now remove Midnight Clock. We're not in the Midnight Clock business anymore. And play on their turn. We have access to 11 mana. No, and 10 mana. Which is exactly enough for a Supreme Verdict. Backed up by a Sublime Epiphany. I'm looking to do that. Because they will go full attack on Teferi for sure. We go to their turn. They activate the tome. We can use the Celestus. Oh. So what is better? Contentious Plan that can proliferate 1, or the Inexorable Tide for multiple proliferation? I don't think I need the cantrip. Inexorable Tide has the upside that if we can chain a couple of spells together, we could really take the Teferi up to 10 loyalty and get the 2 extra turns. So let's first loot with Teferi now that he's under attack. Going to discard this land, and now we can resolve a Supreme Verdict with Flash, thanks to Leyline of Anticipation, and they cannot counter this. Opponent decides to bounce back their commander using the Ether Spellbomb. We also draw a card from Solemn Simulacrum. Oh, it's a Pool of the Mist Moon. That's perfect. If they have a counter, well, though, so be it. But this is really good. They slammed their own Leyline. Wow, this is a battle. This is a war. This is blue versus blue going to war. Oh, resolves. Okay, so it can target their Leyline. And Pool of the Mist Moon is going to make us so any other permanent in our hand will also get the ability to exile a permanent from our opponent. Opponent tails ended the first Pool of the Mist Moon trigger, but we can use here Inexorable Tide, and the Inexorable Tide is upgraded by the permanent ability from the Pool of the Mist Moon. So we deal with the Leyline of Anticipation, loot with the Teferi. I don't actually need the search for anything with Search for Glory. I think that if we stick a Commit or a Sublime Epiphany, we are going to be good. Because it's all about taking up Teferi, extra turn spell. Oh. Extra turn spell with 2 mana up, 3 mana up, 2 mana up. Mox Amber is not active. I think I let them go to their extra turn spell. Yeah, we let them go. You can take an extra turn. Because if they negate my counter and they go to their turn and resolve a Gadwick, draw how many cards? Like they could draw 5, 7, 8 cards. That would be amazing. Ooh, Teferi finds us another Teferi, but you know what? I'm sorry, Hero of Dominaria. I feel much safer with a Commit and a Sublime Epiphany. It's all about taking Teferi up. There's the Gadwick. And how do we want to do this? Well, let's resolve. Wow, we resolve Commit and opponent scoops it up. Yes. That was a fun control battle versus Mono Blue. But we keep playing with Urza Lord Protector. And we are going to play with Maria. Remember, this is Super Friends Urza. Not to focus on doing Urza stuff, but playing Planeswalkers, proliferating on those Planeswalkers, and just having fun at the expense of some opponents. Opponent goes Basilisk Scholar. Well, we know what Maria is doing, so they are going to play all the little artifacts in the world, and then Maria comes down, and we are miserable. So we should wait on Maria with a couple of counter spells, which we do have in hand, which is very good. That's very good. I feel really confident with this hand versus Maria. I can appreciate opponent playing on with the beautiful lands. So we are playing with snow lands, which are really ugly. So I think opponent is winning just because they are playing the beautiful cool lands and we are not. And I feel ashamed of myself right now. I have to play the untapped land because I'm planning on using the Disruption Protocol to try to stop Maria from coming down right now. Opponent plays a Crystal Grotto. If we don't have to counter anything, we can also Thirst for Discovery. They use their mana for a Relic of Legends, which is fine. We can draw cards. draw all of these. We can discard a basic, so we don't have to discard 2. And that's great. We keep drawing lands. It's fine. We can play the... Now I can go Ursa and hold up Wash Away. So there's no downside to doing this, because we just have to stop Maria here. And here we go. We can stop Maria. There you have a counterspell on time. Oh no, what? Holy crap. Alright, opponent was super prepared for this. Veil of Summer. Oh no. Look at them go. Mishra's Bubble, Boneso, they have a million artifacts, and here's Maria being like extremely powerful. Wow, I don't even think we did something wrong. I mean, that was the line. Playing Ursa, Wash Away. They had the perfect answer at the perfect time, but I don't think that was any misplay. Okay, so we don't have the triple blue. I would really like to commit something plus Disruption Protocol if I could. But it's not like we can do that. So we can still commit the Maria. Oh, if they untap with Maria, it's so bad for us. I think they got us. I don't know how we can get out of this. Yeah, it's a tough position to be in. I can commit the Maria, make them have to recast Maria, but we cannot stop Maria from coming down again. We cannot do that. Yeah, we cannot do it. Oh, wait a minute. Seagate Restoration? I could play Seagate Restoration. Disruption Protocol would be one less. Did I just punt it this game? I think I just made a huge mistake, because I was supposed to play the Seagate Restoration untapped and wait with Disruption Protocol up. Because Disruption Protocol, even though it's going to ask me to pay 3, Ursa reduces the cost. I'm pretty positive that was the line, and I screwed it up. I screwed this game up. There you go. Experimental Frenzy. For a moment I didn't recognize Seagate Restoration as a blue source, untapped blue source that I could play. I was thinking I don't have the triple blue. I cannot go commit to memory plus Disruption Protocol, but I actually had the untapped blue. I'm thinking if Disruption Protocol, the way that is worded, where they ask us to pay 1 more if we don't untap an artifact, will still be an additional cost that Ursa does not reduce. So that could be a way to not have actually punted this game, but look at the opponent go. I really think I messed this one up. Alright, I'm going to concede, opponent doing their thing, but yeah, I think I messed this one up. I'm sorry, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are for another round with Ursa Lord Protector playing Super Friends, Azorius Super Friends. We're going first against Loxander, and I really think that I screwed that game up versus Maria, but let's move on. Let's not have that game mess up with our heads anymore. We have a very solid hand, too many ways to ramp fast. And also a Helm of the Host, which could be also really fun to put on Ursa. Opponent Vicious Rumors us, going to make us discard. So they are on Loxander. You don't normally see many Loxander's lists. I'm interested in seeing what the opponent is going to do with Loxander. From the get-go, they are making us discard, so it looks like a control discardy build. We can play the Midnight Clock. I always choose to play the clock before Celestus when I have opportunity, because Midnight Clock, when it gets to 12, you know, it's deadly. It's really difficult to lose a game if you get to the 12th counter. So here we could go opponent on Ruin Crab and Millstone. So, wow, opponent is on the mill plan with Lord Xander. We could play the Celestus and follow that up with a Patriarch's Humiliation. I'm a little hesitant on holding on to the Patriarch's Humiliation. I don't want to get milled out. I don't think Ruin Crab is going to get the job done, but maybe they have other ways to mill us out of this game, so we're not going to take any chances here. Xander is ways away from hitting the battlefield. They don't play any spells, so we trigger Celestus. Alright, more lands that we can discard. Draw an Ugin. Oh, okay. Ugin is great, because now we can go Ugin. This is going to reduce the cost of our colorless spells. But most importantly, we can also start ticking up to get 2/2s. Unless our opponent decides to counter that. Alright. And they even use a Thought Collapse to mill us even more. And follows that up with a Thieves' Give. I always say this wrong. It's like a riddle. Thieves' Guild Enforcer. There's a Teferi tutelage. But now I'm realizing that I shouldn't be afraid about milling, because we have a Midnight Clock. And that's really the anti-milling strategy by excellence. Because when we get to the 12th clock, to the 12th hour, or to the 12th counter, we actually shuffle our graveyard into our library and draw a fresh set of seven cards. So that has to be some tactics versus milling. Now we can start replicating Ursas, and that's so fun. We have multiple Ursas, and the good thing is that we can really reduce the cost of our artifacts, instants, and sorceries. Opponent is just working with one card in hand, so it should be difficult for them to deal with both of our Ursas. And every turn we are going to get one more. And the Midnight Clock is already at 7. Alright, opponent finds an Ashiok, which should be good because that is going to exile the cards from the graveyard. So when the Midnight Clock triggers, there's not going to be as many cards to shuffle in our deck, so maybe they can mill us out with an Ashiok. Seagate Restoration. Oh, how I was betrayed by this card last turn by not reading it properly. I think I just cycled this card. It's going to give me one card only. Oh, Inexorable Tide. Alright, let's keep making Ursas, and since we just have a couple of Ursas, I would really like to attack Ashiok and reduce the loyalty in Ashiok for something. Okay. Those are 2 less activations from Ashiok. Midnight Clock at 9. The first tutelage triggers. We mill 2 lands, which is good for us. We get milled by 2. And we mill a removal spell and a wash away. And say goodbye to our graveyard one more time, courtesy of Ashiok Dream Render. At the end of their turn, we can activate Midnight Clock, put another counter, expedite the process. We draw a Settle the Wreckage, which is useless. During their upkeep, our Midnight Clock is going to trigger, so we will get a fresh grip of hand of cards in their turn. So we might have to play here the Inexorable Tide just to use it. Not that it's going to be too helpful with the cards that we have in the battlefield right now. Let's get rid of Ashiok first. Wow, Helm of the Host, doing work. We have 4 Ursas. This has to be some sort of record. So if we play the Tide, we are still going to have 3 mana to do something on their turn. Okay, let's have the Midnight Clock resolve. And draw 7. Oh yeah, Those are good cards. Commit, very inexpensive commit. And we should be... Wow. Lord Xander. So we can go... Oh, it's actually making us pay 1. So this makes me think that last game where I thought I could Disruption Protocol something, I wasn't going to be able to Disruption Protocol. Alright, that makes me feel better about myself. It's still a mistake, because I still had to go for that line. But it looks like I was screwed anyways. Well, I feel better. I actually feel better. Alright, Karn Living Legacy. Going to play him. Let's try to take him up. See if we can ultimate Karn. Can go Solemn for free. Since we have 4 Ursas, we then can proliferate Karn. There we go. Find the basic. So many lands in hand. I think we could do so many things. We could take Karn down, try to dig for more action. But I think I'm just happy. Yes, good -1 him, but I'm just going to make a Power Stone. I actually want to ultimate a Karn. And we have an army of Ursas that we can use them to go to war. Get them for 6 and pass the turn. Loot with Celestus, going to discard some lands. Oh, there's the pool. I like that card. That card is a beast. Opponent keeping the meal plan going. We have a commit to memory, so commit to memory works pretty much like the midnight clock. So eventually we will be able to shuffle our hand and our graveyard into the library. I don't want them to make us discard anything, so I'm going to commit their duress. Could have packed, but I think I'm still going to wait. Kingstone, that's not a problem. There we go, we draw another Teferi, yes, because this is Super Friends, so it makes sense. And we can take him up. Oh, I'm going to proliferate. Alright, so maybe we could have ultimated Karn this turn. No, we definitely were going to ultimate Karn this turn, but we can do that later. I forgot for 1 second about the inexorable tide and the proliferation. Pool of the Mist Moon with Kicker gets rid of the artifact, and then Teferi is not only a Planeswalker, it's also going to allow us to proliferate and get rid of another thing from the Pool of the Mist Moon trigger. It's so good! Oh, this list is so funny. We can dig for more action with Teferi. Going to get a Thassa. The idea of Thassa, I believe, is just for using the tapping ability, because we make so much mana. Attack with the army of Ursas. Have you ever seen so many Ursas attacking someone? I don't think so. And on next turn we can do fun stuff. We can ultimate Karn. We can take the Fury up. Or find more action. Opponent has a John Irenicus. No, John Irenicus. Those cards from Baldur's Gate, half of which I don't even know yet. Alright, Spark Double. Well, we have so many lines of action, First thing, I am going to ultimate Karn. So now every artifact we have has a tapping ability that can deal ping 1 to anything. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artifacts. So we could deal 6 damage to them if we wanted. And I believe what we should do is we just should go to attacks. So we can do this, like select one artifact and ping them. I'm not going to do it right now, but you have to tap the powers. You have to tap the emblem and then select what artifact to tap. Could also go spark double, copy something. Or we could also refill our hand with commit to memory, but that is going to give them cards anyway. So I think that the right thing to do here is to just attack them. I think we have lethal, so no need to find a fancy way to close the game. If by any means we're not dealing deadly damage right now, then we deal the rest with the Karn ultimate. Because I think they're going to take more than 10. Or exactly 10? Yeah, that's exactly 10. Alright, anything else? Oh, they have, well, we have complete information from their hand. Nothing they can do, and this is going to be game. Opponent mills us for those 2 sweet last cards, and yeah, down to 0. Wow, another victory with the Super Friends. Well, here we are for another round with Ursa Super Friends in Azorius, going to play versus Phylath. This is Gruul Landfall. We go first. Hand looks very nice, control-y. We have a Ley Lane of Anticipation that we can play. Put into play for free. Hoping that we can find some of our Planeswalkers. We will start with a tap land. Go. Alright, opponent going to put another land into play. We draw another land. We can go island and pass. I don't think I'm going to use right now the Contentious Plan. We can fire that up during their turn, courtesy of a Ley Line of Anticipation. There we go. Go to the end step. Oh, they could play a land. Forgot about that. And a Harrow. Alright, opponent getting the ramp on. That's yeah, that's a little bit concerning because Phylath is really hard to deal with. Ooh, on Llanowar Elves. Alright, well, they are doing their thing. We can fire this up for just cantripping. Draw another land, and a Blast Zone, and a Ugin. And I just think we have to pass here. Hoping that we can counter something important from them, and going from there. Yeah, opponent tries to play their commander. We can use the Disruption Protocol full price. Make a better use of our mana. And hold up Wash Away for the future. Alright, another land. Alright. Not too encouraging to keep drawing lands. So let's get one land out of the deck to reduce that probability. But now we have to pass. We can counter something, or we can play Ursa. See what the opponent does. Okay, opponent, you're going to attack us, but I'm trying to go... Yeah, I'll try to block them. If there's a blowout, there's a blowout. There's no blowout. Well, that was a free Llanowar Elf for us. Okay. I really think that was going to... yeah, end up badly for us, but... that's cool. Alright. We attack them. One more mana and we can play Ugin. The thing about the Planeswalkers is, yeah, you cannot play them with Flash because you cannot activate the opponent. Scoops it up. Yes. Alright. This will be our last round, playing with Ursa Lord Protector, Azorius Super Friends, playing versus Thanos the Toymaker, Beasts and Birds. You know what this guy does. And you know what we are trying to do is we're trying to play some Planeswalkers and have fun. Because playing Planeswalkers, when you are the one playing them, it's fun. It's really, really fun. And you have a very good time, and you take them up, and you do multiple busted things. So, yeah. Let's see. We can go double island, threaten to have a counter spell in hand. See if opponent is scared. They are not. They play their Wolfillow Haven. Okay, Celestus is nice. We have the Milestone and the Weak Stone in hand, so maybe this time we can go Ursa Melding, if we are lucky enough. Let's play the Celestus. Opponent goes land pass. Alright, triggers the Celestus. What are we going to discard here? Maybe another land? I think so, right? Well, yeah, that was a good choice because we drew even another land. And we could go Ursa. Ursa gives us a discount on the Thirst. We could go Milestone. I think I like going Ursa versus so much green mana. It's safer than usual. And at least that gives us a discounted Thirst for Discovery. So that's valuable on its own. Opponent cracks a fetch. They have 5 mana for their commander, and that's alright, because we can go Thirst for Discovery, draw a couple of cards. Well, friends, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed Ursa Super Friends made by Brent, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel to keep getting our daily videos of Historic Brawl. Leave a like, leave a comment. We will see each other on the next video. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.